hope you all have had a great day and a great start to the week. So today we have our speaker, Tassos, who's joining in from Qatar, but actually is from Greece. And he's an ICF PCC, and he's done his education from London Business School and INSEAD. I would like all of us to join today to invite him in first. And second is he's a holistic coach. So that's where the whole topic of today comes in. What is holistic coaching? Tassos, please take us over. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sharia. Thank you for the introduction. I welcome everyone, and I'm honored to be here with you today. And I'm excited to share some, insights and some experience around executive holistic coaching. So, as Ash already mentioned, introduced me, my name is Tassos. I'm from Greece originally, but I'm living in Qatar with the family now for 11 years, now in Doha, in Qatar. And the last few years were a journey, very interesting journey to me, because I got to the coaching education, I got my credentials, a lot of hard work and time and effort and money, of course, invested, through all this process. I guess if I understand well, most of you are in this journey as well. Some of you may be more advanced than I am. Some of you, still a way to go. But I wish you all really exciting moments, and let's enjoy this session today to get together. So I'm going to be sharing my screen and starting diving in immediately. So let me see if you see my screen now. Great. Sharia, I will ask for your support a bit, please, on your chat or whatever, because I will not be able to see looking at the chat in case we have some interesting questions or some insights from our audience so that we can interact. I will go in a presentation about holistic coaching and well-being for executives, as we know. So I will explain who I am, what brought me here, what is holistic coaching, and how executives can really support themselves, first of all, around well-being. And in the end, we will be discussing, in the middle of the presentation, we'll be discussing also about stress and how to manage stress and how to find strategies to cope with stress. Because it's not only for executives, it's for all of us. So it's a common challenge that we all have, in our busy lives, personally and professionally. Okay, so if I may start, so I already introduced myself, and I have also developed the Heart Holistic Coaching Program, which I will just speak a little bit in the end. So what is holistic coaching? Holistic coaching considers the whole person and how he or she interacts with her environment. And we are focusing and we're emphasizing this connection on 4 different levels. 4 different, if I say, organs, but also levels of awareness, of levels of well-being. So that is the organ, is the body, the mind, the heart, and the soul. And of course, you will ask me, is soul an organ? So it's something philosophical that we can discover and we can discuss maybe in a different session. But for today, we will be focusing on these 4 different levels of physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. So physical, body, mental, the mind, emotional, the heart, and spiritual, the soul. And this is something very important for the holistic coaching, because this is really how we are facing any challenges or any issues of our coachees, of our clients, when we're in the middle of a coaching session. So this is important for us to understand that any challenge, literally any challenge, either personal or professional challenge, or any big goal, any big dream, any aspiration, any objective, we can manage it and we can approach it through holistic coaching, through these 4 different levels of awareness and well-being, so that we really maintain and achieve and support our coachee or client in the balance, in aligning with all these 4 levels, so they have a full balanced awareness of who they are, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, and what is really their spiritual connection, whatever this means for each one. So guess who is here? I think it's quite easy. I can even save my head now. So that was like a few years ago during COVID, especially during COVID. When I visited in 2019, I visited the Shaolin Kung Fu Monastery, And then since then, I had my head shaved for like 2 years, almost 2 years, 2.5 years, especially during COVID, where I did a lot of practices of meditation, of mindfulness. And at the same time, I developed my holistic coaching education, practice, and training. So what is holistic coaching? We already discussed about the 4 different levels, but what do they mean? So for example, the physical that you see here on the bottom, the green, the physical, is how we embody a healthy and grounded presence. So how we take care of ourselves, how do we take care of our nutrition, how do we take care of our habits, how we take care of our routines or our daily routines in order to really feel that we are supporting our body and our physical state to be really in the peak state, in the peak performance state possible, which lead us in a beautiful state, will lead us in a state that we are really happy, we're really connected, we're really aligned with what's happening around us with on the physical level always, right? So being healthy, being active, being high spirited, so that we can face any challenges on a physical level. Then we're going to the mental level, the blue circle here, which is basically how we can identify different mental processes on a cognitive level, let's say, that we are really facing or really challenged every day. For example, how we make decisions, if we procrastinate or not, if we are very authentic or if we are very spontaneous, let's say, in making in our decision. Or, for example, how we communicate. Do we communicate in a proper way with other people? Are we rushing? Are we expressing any different emotions? Are we able to communicate, to think, take a step back, and then react, and then respond to any challenge or any situation around us? So this is really the mental aspect and how we manage and how we can control our thoughts and not let the monkey mind, as we say, jump here and there, right and left, without us being able to control our mind. So basically, this is mind control in the mental aspect. In the emotional level is, of course, accessing and acknowledging our emotions and also our energy, our emotional energy every day. So what I spoke before about the energy level, the peak performance, the peak level, emotionally, the emotional level is directly connected to that. Because if we are happy, if we wake up in the morning, and we are happy with how we want to seize our day, what kind of opportunities and challenges we're facing the day with an open mind and with a resilient mind, then emotionally we're much stronger, we're much more prepared to face any situation that may life throws to us. And then in the evening, if we go to bed in the evening when we want to sleep and we are peaceful and we are grateful and we have a peace of mind that yes, it was a nice full day that we created things, we created something, and we're happy about it. This is a very positive mindset to be. So emotionally, that means that we are stable and we are balanced, and we're not challenged emotionally, because what the fear is coming, doubt is coming, self-doubt, and any other, unfortunately, I don't say negative, but disempowering, emotions are popping up during our day. And this is what challenges us, and this is why we need to be fully aligned and balanced in order to be able to cope with it. And what is the spiritual? Of course, spiritual, when we say spiritual in coaching, we're not referring to religion. We are referring to anything that's beyond us, maybe that we believe, or we refer to our legacy. What is the legacy we want to have in this life? What is a broader goal, a broader objective, a bigger dream? What is a big vision that we want to have for us and for our families, maybe, or for our community, or for our friends? What is something that we really want to achieve? How we want to be? As I'm saying sometimes, because I'm 53 years old, I still say, and I will be saying that what I want to do when I grow up, who I want to be when I grow up. Right? So this is here the spiritual, this is how the spiritual aspect manifests in this holistic coaching. So basically connecting with a deeper sense or meaning for our nature, through the nature, through our beliefs and our daily practices and our long-term practices. So if I may proceed on holistic coaching, going a little bit deeper, this is where we see that we are addressing every person as a whole person, meaning that we have to answer some important questions here. How do we integrate mind, body, heart, and spirit? How do we integrate that? How can we focus on the root causes of what creates these challenges, these pains, these doubts? What is the root cause? Excuse me. What is the root cause? Of course, we don't go that deep, like a psychologist, for example, because we want to understand what was happening in the past, but we want to focus, as you know, a coach is focusing on the present and in the future. So how can we support our client on the present and on the future by understanding some things about the past, but mainly the focus on the present and the future? Then holistic coaching is about emphasis on self-care and wellness, as I already described, which is this is the physical aspect, mindfulness and presence, which is the mental aspect. Mindfulness is extremely important, not only for coaches when we are delivering a session, because we need to be fully 100% mindful and present during our coaching session. As you know, that this is also one of the core competencies as well, the presence, how to maintain presence of ICF, right? So this is very, very important. Active listening, hearing exactly beyond the words, beyond the phrase, etc. And of course, being mindful of what is being discussed and what's happening. So it's not only for coaches, but it's also for any executive, any professional to be mindful and present. And of course, goal alignment and life balance, which I already talked, because if we are balancing the 4 different levels of holistic approach, the physical, the mental, the emotional, and spiritual, then we have also a life balance. And if we have a life balance, that means that we have a work and life, not only work-life balance, but we have a work-life integration, because this is a more proper and more advanced, let's say, terminology and a way of life to have a real integration, not just a balance. Balance would be, okay, I work from 8 to 4, then I go and do my other stuff. So it's not really integration. Integration would be, yes, I'm working, but at the same time, I'm taking care maybe of my personal issues, myself, my family, during my work, during my professional and personal life during the day. And of course, goal alignment, because we need to have this goal alignment. We need to understand who we are, what we want to achieve. So after that, we can go on the how we want to succeed, how we want to achieve. What are the actions we need to take? What is the different steps that we need to take or decisions in order to have this kind of goal alignment and reach as close to our goal as possible? So what do you see here? Can you help me here on the chat? What do you see from this image? How would you describe these characters of ours? You feel free to write on the chat, please, and maybe Ash can help me a little bit on what's written on the chat.
Yes, Tassos.
So what do we see in our chat?
Frustrated, stressed workers, chaotic, stressed, overwhelmed.
Yes, exactly,
troubled.
exactly all this, stress, frustrated, anxious, maybe overwhelmed, maybe burnt out, maybe even burnt out in some cases, right? So yeah, guess what? This is us. This is us. This is all of us, right? You and me and everyone. This is like this. It's mostly, and maybe it's not 100% of the population, but I would say 90% of the professionals, or maybe even more than 90%, one way or the other, or during some period of our lives, we go through this situation, through these emotions and conditions. So who is not stressed in the end? Who is not really stressed? And why we're stressed? So why we're stressed? Because we are stressed because of lack of self-care, because we don't pay attention to ourselves that much, because maybe we devote all the time and effort, everything we have and all of our energy to our family or to friends or to work or to our colleagues. So everyone else outside ourselves and not really ourselves. And this on the long term creates stress, creates even burnout, right? We are stressed because we have difficulty managing our emotions. And I would start from the self-awareness. So it's not only managing the emotions, it's also understanding our emotions in the first place. So full self-awareness before we go to manage the emotions. We are stressed because we have limited coping strategies, because maybe we don't have the practices, we don't have the strategies, we don't have the tools to cope with the stress, even though we understand that. And we are just pushing it back and pushing it back. But then if this stress is becoming energetic blockages in our body, work-life imbalance, because we continuously consider, yes, I need to balance myself, yes, I need to have control, yes, I need to find some time for ourselves, and this never happens. And then we know deep down inside it's a work-life imbalance. Stress because of transition, for example, career transition, relocation. For example, for me and my family, we relocated 10, 11 years ago from Greece, from Europe to a country in Middle East and Qatar. That was a transitional stress. Or it can be a career transition. We decide to change career for whatever reason, right? We have a stressful situation there. So again, it's stress. And then self-identity challenges, which is a little bit more, it's a little bit deeper, because there, maybe we don't know really who we are. Maybe we don't take a step back and really reflect on our experiences, reflect on our emotions, reflect on who we want to be, really. And this creates an imbalance between our conscious and our unconscious. So that's why we get stressed out of this. And sometimes we don't even realize it, because we just go on the autopilot on our everyday routine, and we don't realize that there is an imbalance there, and we're feeling stress coming from our unconscious, basically. Are we all good so far? Should I speak a little bit slower or a bit faster? What do you think? Can you comment on the chat? Give me feedback, please. Give me feedback. I need feedback, right? We are in coaching, so we need to have feedback to improve ourselves all the time. Saraya, if you see something,
Yes.
let me know. Either negative or either positive or negative, or empowering or disempowering, as we say.
Everybody in our community is extremely empowering. So
Great. Thank you very
everybody is
much.
just saying, going good, it's going
Yes,
just
great.
fine.
You don't need to be kind or nice, right? You can be straightforward and objective. I take all the feedback. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. So what executives need? Since we realized and we discovered that we're all stressed and we are all executives one way or the other, right? Because even now even someone that's working at home, let's say even a housewife, right, or someone which is really unemployed at a specific period of his time, is an executive, isn't he? Isn't he or isn't she? Is an executive, because still there are things that you need to do, still there are things that you need to execute, still there are things that you need to plan, still there are things that you need to think and deliver, in order to improve your life, to change your situation. So sometimes we just think about executives and we think that these are people, that they're in the corporate organizations and they are like at a high level. No, executive is everyone. Everyone is executive according to my approach and my understanding, and my experience. Even a housewife is an executive. Even an unemployed person is an executive. Even anyone, a businessman, business owner is an executive. And of course, the corporate employees are executives as well. So this approach and what we're discussing here is for everyone, basically, because we're all human beings in the end. It's about human beings, and it's not about titles, executives, managers, not managers, I don't know what. Okay. So what do we need? We need physical health and well-being. And it's not about words here, this one. This is something that we really need to think and reflect on what we're doing on an everyday basis. What do we do for ourselves, for our physical health, for our physical well-being, our nutrition, our sleep, our routines, our mindful moments, whatever this is, a walk in the park, swimming somewhere, going out with a bicycle, playing music, dancing, doesn't matter what it is, as long as it gives us the pleasure and the satisfaction that we are taking care of ourselves. Stress management. Of course, executives need stress management. We discussed already about that. And that's what holistic coaching is about, specifically holistic coaching, because it addresses any challenges in the stress, around the stress of our coaches and our clients. Then integrating work and life. I spoke a little bit quickly on that. Yes, integration of work and life, because this is what balance is about. Of course, you will tell me, yeah, okay, but if I want to work 20 hours per day or 24 hours per day, and for me, this is the perfect balance. Yeah, of course, this is perfect, right? as long as you're not stressed, as long as you're not building stress, as long as you're not damaging your health, your mind and spirit on the long term. Because maybe now you're very happy working 24 hours a day. I was one of them. I was working 18 hours a day for some period of my life when I was managing a big company, right? 20 years ago, more or less. I was working literally 20 hours a day, right? But for how long? After a year, after 1 year and a half, I said, that's enough. I could not go continue like this if I want to have a life. So emotional intelligence and resilience. We also discuss a lot about what emotional intelligence is and what does really mean, and how this manifests and what are the qualities of an emotionally intelligent person, etc. So everyone can have different kind of translations sometime, right? But really what emotional intelligence is, according to my perspective, is how we really feel and understand the others. So empathy is a great characteristic, a great, very important attribute and behavior of emotional intelligence, right? And then resilience. So if we have this kind of empathy and for others, then we can really go deeper, we can really cooperate better, we can really be more stable, we can really understand people better, we can really give them space and time, and we can take also our space and our time in order to manage their energies, our energies, and in order to build this resilience. And growth mindset and positive belief systems. This is, for me, is one of the most important. Not that the others are not important, but this is very important because growth mindset should be something that we should adopt. All of us should adopt. That's why you're here. You're here, all of you, because you want to grow. You want to learn. You want to do another step in your lives. That's why you're here. So this growth mindset is very, very important. And the same thing for the client, for our coaches is very important. If our coaches is not growth minded, then most probably we will not be asking for help or support from a coach like you and me. And positive belief systems, positivity is very critical, extremely critical, positivity in our lives. If we go on the other way, on the opposite way, then we need to change. And I'm very, let's say, direct on that. If we have any negative emotions, negative thoughts, negative energy in our lives, we just need to change. Consider this, and we need to change because once we change, then we see things brighter, then we create the life we want, and then life happens for us. Life purpose and fulfillment. Of course, we need to align. Of course, we need to have something to believe in, whatever this is what we believe in. Of course, we need to connect. Of course, we need to have a higher purpose in life in order to drive us continuously, have this motivation and this passion in life. If we're lacking life purpose and fulfillment, we're not gonna be happy, we're not gonna be positive, we're not gonna be motivated, we're not gonna be grateful. So we need to have all this in order to enjoy all the positive and empowering, let's say, feelings and emotions of this. Now it's time for you to play a little bit. So here I will need your participation and your contribution, and I will need also Asaraya's a little bit, support in the chatting, because I will be challenging you with 8 questions just to see your perspective and what you believe. It's easy, it's nothing difficult. You just need to some time, to focus a little bit and choose whatever you feel it resonates with you. So why is self-care important for executives? Is it for well-being? Is it for burnout? Is it for success? Is it for productivity? Why is self-care important for executives? What do you think? Type in the chat.
So
it can be more than one, in some cases.
So I see Please. A lot of people saying well-being, all 4 of them, well-being and productivity, all of the above.
Yes, very nice, very nice. Yes. So yes, it's about well-being and productivity. Because if we don't have self-care, if we don't take care of ourselves, we will go to burnout very, very fast, right? And we will not be able to succeed. So we need to have the well-being to help the well-being. We need to have productivity. And if we have productivity and well-being, we will not have burnout. And also we will have success in the end as a longer term approach. Question number 2. Why is stress management crucial for executives' well-being? So why is stress management crucial for the executives to have a beautiful well-being status or state? What would it be?
Health and
Performance.
performance, all for health and performance.
Great. Yes, okay. Thank you very much for the chat. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So, number one is health. Number one is health, right? Because we really need to fight the stress. We really need to challenge our stress. We really need to improve our stress levels, first of all, because of our health. First of all, because of our health, and then the rest will follow. I don't say that they're not important. Of course, they're important, all of them, right? And there could be a correct answer, but as a number one priority is about our health, because this is what we all need and we all want to have every day, health. What is a common challenge for executives in maintaining wellness? What is a challenge in order for us to maintain wellness? What would you say?
I would say work-life balance. And I think everybody else also says the same. Self-discipline, work-life balance.
Yes, let's see. Wow, yes, you're right. Both of them. Work-life balance and self-discipline. And if I may challenge you a bit here or share at least my insights here, self-discipline I would say is even more important, because if you have the self-discipline and if you can be committed and consistent to what you choose to do for your own health and for your own self-care, then you will create also the routine that will bring you to the work-life balance. So in order to have the work-life balance, you need to start with the self-discipline, the motivation, of course, the self-discipline, the commitment, and the consistency. And then you will achieve work-life balance. Why is mindset important in executive well-being coaching? During an executive well-being coach, you're coaching a client around well-being. Why mindset is important? What you will support the client with: growth, with resilience, with success, with connection. What would you
I
say?
can see people saying growth, success, resilience,
Mhm.
growth,
You
success,
see,
and
you're
resilience.
covering almost everything. But the two, let's say, priorities, the top two is growth and resilience. Yes, growth, as we discussed before, because we need to have a growth mindset in order to improve, in order to focus, in order to invest time and effort. And we need to have the resilience, because the resilience is in the long term, that we need to have this resilience, not only to continue with what we are creating and to insist and to persist, but also to face the challenges that life throws to us and maybe keep us back or force us to take a step back or two. It's okay. It doesn't matter. It happens to everyone. We just need to have the resilience to go back, get up in our feet, and continue. What can executive well-being coaching help with? So, what would it help with? What would be one challenge or one case that or more that executive well-being coaching would help with? What do we see here? There are a lot of messages now, so I cannot keep track. Sorry, I
Work-life
can.
balance. I think everybody is saying work-life balance. Somebody is saying procrastination.
Yes, 2 out of 2.
Sangeeta is
Yes.
saying yes.
Yes, of course. Financial management is something that can be, let's say, an end result, maybe, or a side, let's say, result, right? And social media addiction also can be through an executive well-being coaching. Yes, if your coachee comes and says, "Look, I'm too much in social media. I'm really like addicted to social media. How can you help me? And this is my challenge." Then you will navigate him and you will support him against this, of course, in your own way, in his own way, of course, to succeed in that, right? But the two priorities is about procrastination on our decision making and work-life balance, because this is what really supports the people in their lives. What is an important element of executive well-being coaching? What's an important element? Don't tell me sleeping pills.
Mindfulness,
Mm-hmm.
mindfulness,
Mm-hmm.
mindfulness,
I think we have
mindfulness.
I think we have the majority there. Yes, correct. It's mindfulness. However, I have to add something here. Stretching, because of my background, as I told you in the beginning, of Kung Fu martial arts, and I do also Qigong, the internal energy of the Chinese internal energy, let's say, a practice. Stretching is extremely important, and as our audience here is coming mostly from East Asia, yoga and this kind of practices and stretching and mobility and all these practices really support our body and our physical health, right? And then these can help us be more grounded, be more present at the same time. So we create more mindfulness and more. Imagine if you're doing a yoga session, most of you maybe have done it or you're currently doing, you're combining two huge benefits: the stretching of the body, and the fitness of the body together with the mindfulness. So sometimes these two can go easily together. And executive well-being coaching can support in that if the person, of course, is willing, to go to this journey, to go to this path. What is the goal of executive well-being coaching? What is the goal? What do you say is the main goal, one or two?
Stress reduction. Stress reduction.
Yes, and performance improvement, because
And
one.
performance improvement.
Exactly. Because one, you reduce stress to the executive well-being coaching, and second, you improve the performance, because the clarity, the more clearer mind we have, the less stress we have, the more mindful, the more clear mind we have, the more we can focus, and the higher we can perform, right? So there's a chain of actions that's happening there. And I think the last one, what can executive well-being coaching help with? This is tricky. It's a tricky question. Let's see if you can find it. What do you think?
Resilience and focus. That's
Mm-hmm.
my answer. I'll read out others.
Ta-da!
All four of them.
All four of them. Yes, that's why it's because in reality, all these four benefits are coming from executive well-being. Because how? Resilience we already discussed. Focus we already discussed. Mindful and clear mind, right? And critical mind and clear mind. So focus is there. Time is amazingly improved through executive well-being or holistic coaching, right? Because then we know clearly what are our priorities, what is important, what is urgent, and how we allocate our time in order to really be as efficient as possible. So time is a great advantage, a great benefit, and energy the same, because time and energy sometimes go together. The more we focus on something, the more energy we have, the more motivation we have, the more creative we are because we are focusing. And with the higher energy levels we have, the more physical, or the more balance we have between the four different levels: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, the higher the energy we have. And I'm challenging you on that, right? Once you find, or if you already have and you own this kind of balance between the four different aspects, the four different levels, you will see that your energy levels are in the highest possible level in your life. So, being coaches, all of us here, or most of us at least, I thought of just giving you 8 powerful questions for an executive holistic coaching session. And please feel free to take a screenshot if you want or whatever of this. And of course, you will have the recording anyway. But to me, these are a sample. Of course, it is just a sample because there are a lot of powerful questions, but this is a sample of the powerful questions that I can share with you here, just to give you guidance. So, what are the primary stressors in your current role? How do they impact your overall health and happiness? So, you're asking your coachee, what are the primary stressors in your current role? How do they impact your overall health and happiness? So you put them think of, yes, what is really that is stressing me? Is it my boss? Is it my wife? Is it my husband? Is it my children? Is it my time, my lack of time? Is it my self-doubt? What is it? And how does this impact my overall health and happiness? Very powerful question to start with, for example, a session. Second, in what areas of your life do you feel there's a lack of harmony, and how this may be affecting your performance and relationships? So we go one step further now. We try to identify which areas specifically. Is it finance? Is it career? Is it family? Is it social relationships? Is it health? Is it contribution, community contribution, for example? What is it that we are feeling weak and we're feeling of lack of harmony, unbalanced, and how this affects our performance or our clients, our coaches' performance and relationships? Number 3, what are the core values that guide your decision making in both your personal and professional life? Extremely important questions about the values, because we need to know our values. If not only us, all of us, and of course our coaches and our clients. By asking them what are their core values, we make them focus and say, what is it to me? Is it integrity? Is it respect? Is it peace? Is it kindness? What is the values that guide our decision making throughout our life, both in personal and professional life? And then you expand from that. Can you describe the recent situation where you felt completely aligned with your purpose? What were the outcomes? Very challenging question. If you ask me now that I felt completely aligned with my purpose, I will tell you very few times during my life, maybe 1 or 2 only, fully aligned with my purpose. And then you see what were the outcomes. So you put the coachee in the position to think this particular situation in their life that they felt aligned, and the feelings, the emotions, the thoughts that they went through during this situation, in comparison with what they are experiencing now, for example, if they're off balance. How do you balance your personal well-being with the demands of your executive role? And now this is really, face to face, as we say, the fight between personal well-being and being executives, being business owners, being in the corporate world, developing something. Where is the balance there between our self-care and the professional demands? How would you envision your ideal work-life balance, and what steps can you take to move closer to that vision? Again, vision now, dreaming. How would you envision your ideal work-life balance? What does it mean to you? How does it look? What is your daily routine, right? And then once you have this as like a solid image in front of you, this ideal work-life balance, then you can go to the action plan. You can go to the steps and the next let's say, questions or agreement in your life. How would you measure success if you could include personal fulfillment and well-being? What success, dear client, dear coachee? What is success? What success means to you if you include personal fulfillment and well-being? Because someone can tell you money. Someone can tell you high position, executive power, authority, etc. Right? But if you would include personal fulfillment and well-being, how does this change the term of success, the meaning of success, the measurement of success for you? And last one, what practices or habits would you implement to maintain a sense of mindfulness and presence in your daily routine? So, for example, through a coaching session, mindfulness, the need of mindfulness and the need of presence comes up. Yeah, what are the practices or habits that would you implement? And then after the coachee, after the client says, yes, I would like to implement yoga, or I would like to implement going for a walk in the morning, or I would like to do gardening, whatever it is that helps me with my mindfulness and presence, then you can go to the accountability, to the tools, what tools are helping the coachee, how can he or she can be accountable about these practices or habits, and then close the session. So which way you would like to go? The balanced one or the burnout one? That's a choice. You always have the choice. We all have a choice to go in the balanced way or to go the burnout way. And then I will be closing now about Heart Holistic Coaching, which is my methodology that I have developed. I'm the founder of this. Is a unique approach to coaching that integrates basically the 4 elements of holistic coaching: empowerment, acceptance, resilience, and transformation. So I guide my coaches, I guide my clients through these phases, through these milestones, in order to first align and first have balance holistically in their life, then to empower themselves, to feel accepted and give acceptance to others, to build the resilience that they need in the long term, and eventually to transform completely as persons and as professionals. It's a very powerful methodology that works a lot. I've worked a lot with clients and coaches and all that, and of course, always it's a new learning, a new insight that I'm getting from the clients and the coaches themselves. And you are free to scan here with your mobile. You can scan it. It will take you to my website, and you have the possibility to download the hard ebook. So to understand a little bit more about the hard coaching methodology, and hope that will be helpful for you, and you can have some insight. And please feel free to get back to me with any questions or anything you need around that. So that's it for today. Those are my contact details. Feel free also to contact me, get a screenshot, whatever you like, and I'll be happy to connect with you and discuss more in depth. So I go back here and questions. So we have, you see, almost 45 minutes. Let's say 40 minutes. Saraya, so we're good. We have still 15 minutes, I think, maximum to go on the questions and answers. Feel free either, I don't know how you want to do it, by chat or by audio, is up to you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Tassos.
Thank you.
I think everybody has taken maybe a screenshot of the screen so that we can bring it back to a gallery mode so all of us can interact. If yes, just give me a thumbs up.
Should I stop sharing?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, everybody, he's here. You can come on camera, unmute yourself. Anything that works for you. Please do drop a question as well if you're looking for. We already have the first question. So we have a question from Julie. Do you find that executives hire you directly, or are you hired through companies for their executives?
You mean on a personal basis, myself? You mean both ways? If you're asking me directly, yes, both ways. I'm working with one-on-one individual clients, and I'm working also with corporates on well-being challenges or holistic coaching challenges, or holistic, even executive holistic or executive leadership challenges that they may have around the well-being, around the holistic coaching, around resilience, around team building, around leadership skills, always through the lens of holistic coaching.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Please put up your hands and you can unmute yourselves and ask the questions.
May I ask?
May I ask a question?
Please go ahead. Please.
So Tasha, I've worked with organizations which, where the executives, the leadership was not yet, they didn't believe in mindfulness practices and all of that, right? So did share with them some statistics around the bigger companies and how mindfulness programs have helped. But have you found similar challenges, and how did you address it?
Similar challenges, you mean, so that the corporate world does not understand about holistic coaching and about well-being?
About well-being, about using mindfulness and,
actually
adapting mindful practice.
Yes. Unfortunately, yes. There are a lot of corporates and a lot of, on a global scale, right, that they are not yet into mindfulness and not yet into these kind of practices. So I see that as a great opportunity, not as a challenge. I don't see that as a problem. I see that as an opportunity, because this will change, and it changes gradually and slightly, slowly. And once the corporates or the decision makers understand, or the business owners understand that by balancing work-life, integrating work-life for their employees and for their managers and for everyone, this creates a happier working environment. And if we are happier as human beings, we are more productive and more efficient. So what that means? That means that the bottom line, the profitability of the organization improves. Because if efficiency improves, profitability improves. Is that easy? It's like easy. It's like mathematically easy. They just need to focus on this and try it and understand that this will improve their bottom line financially, but first of all, it will improve the happiness of their people.
Perfect. Thanks so
Thank
much.
you.
Tassos, we have a question from Geeta in the chat box. What are the nuances of heart coaching philosophy that makes it unique? Does it overlap with therapy?
No. We're not talking about therapy. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a licensed therapist. I'm a coach. I'm an accredited coach. Therapy is something different, right? It's heart coaching. Methodology is purely coaching. It's just let's say, a complete coaching program and coaching methodology that starts with a holistic approach and, let's say, ends, if you can say never ends, because we can never say ends, to the transformation of the person, to the challenge, the specific challenge, or that they face, or what they want to succeed in what they want to succeed. So they need to transform. We need to transform if we want to succeed. We need to transform if we want to get rid of our old beliefs and our old perspectives and adopt new beliefs and new perspectives. So this is what heart coaching methodology is. It's like a step-by-step process, which take maybe 3 to 6 months, depending on the coachee, to really transform to the previous situation. So you see yourself from point A to point B, and then you see how you rise, how you grow, and how you transform from point A to point B.
Great. Thank you so much. Ankita is asking, one of the points in what executives need was emotional intelligence and resilience. My question is, how do we promote emotional intelligence angle with highly goal-oriented and work-oriented to tier executives? Am I right, Ankita?
How we promote emotional resilience to senior leaders, to senior executives, for example? First of all, they need to be self-aware. First of all, they need to understand, to do their own diagnosis and see where they stand, right? Because what we are facing usually is that we are not able to see our blind spots. We're not able to see our weaknesses. We're not able to understand and comprehend and accept our weaknesses. So we need to start with self-awareness. Even executive is ready to go deeper in that and understand that there are weaknesses that he or she can improve. Then this is a perfect point to lead them to emotional intelligence and growing and talking more about emotional intelligence. Go deeper on empathy, go deeper on active listening, go deeper on teamwork, go deeper in self-reflection, right? Go deeper in active hearing, active listening, right, to what is being communicated. So basically, coaching practices. Code is not something. It's not a science. It's not a rocket science, right? It's just coaching practices and coaching methodology. I would say even by the book, to really make senior executives to really improve their emotional intelligence skills. Did I answer you? Is that okay? Does it make sense?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Krishnan is asking for your view on, in India, a lot of executives practice yoga and meditation for managing stress. What is your view on that?
Oh, amazing! I do the same. I don't do yoga a lot. I do mostly qigong, with the internal energy aspect of the kung fu. The kung fu is the external martial art. Qigong is the internal energy art. So this is very similar to yoga because it's a combination of standing meditation, breathing, and slight movement, right? So it's very close to yoga, and I appreciate that 100% from any executive, not only executive, from any person, in the world, if they're practicing such modalities, 100%.
Okay, great. So Ryan here is asking, what have you found as the most effective way to convince organizations to undertake this?
To undertake this, I think only if they see really, if they really care. First of all, as I told you in the beginning, they need to care. They need to care. They need to be able to understand. We're not going on a sales approach. It's very difficult to go on a sales approach and try to convince them for something that they don't feel comfortable, or they are not aware, or they are not ready. But most of the times they have a challenge, they have a pain point. So you need to find this pain point, and usually is a low happiness of their people, a lot of conflict within the organization. And then when you have a lot of conflict or miscommunication, then you can work on holistic coaching and well-being, because then these factors improve. And then, as I said before, efficiency improves and profitability improves.
I hope that answered your question, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
Ravish is asking, how does holistic coaching program integrate with performance or goal orientation focus, which executives are focused to improve upon?
Yeah, holistic coaching in that sense works as every coaching, as every leadership coaching in the same way, in that sense, right? Because here, maybe we don't have a challenge in terms of a disempowering challenge, but we have a big goal. We have something that we want to create. So we are excited. We want to create that. We want to find ways. We want to find strategies. We want to find steps, the right steps and the actions, the way we communicate with our team members in order to achieve this vision or this goal, right? So by taking them step by step to holistic coaching, they understand and they realize also that they don't need, for example, I give you an example, they don't need to work 20 hours a day in order to achieve the goal. They can work 10 hours a day or 8 hours a day, much more balanced, but through holistic coaching, they can achieve the same goal that they would achieve by themselves working in 20 hours. So this is what they need to understand. How it can be cleverer, more efficient, how can take better decisions, clearer decisions in order to be able to achieve the same result with less energy and less time invested.
Great. Okay. Rajat is saying, how's holistic coaching helps in self-awareness of executive and realization to manage their stress?
Oh, very much, but it starts with the powerful questions. It starts with a powerful question. That's why I shared with you some powerful questions, because by using the powerful questions, you can increase the awareness level of the coachee, right? This is what we're doing as coaches, right? We need to put to face and challenge the coachee with the powerful questions so that we raise their self-awareness on what is important for them, on what is important and what they want to succeed or they want to change. So our role is to really phrase and challenge with the right powerful questions around well-being, around happiness, around satisfaction, around goal alignment, etc., things that we discussed already.
Great. Ankita, you have raised your hand. Would you like to question something?
Yeah, I just have a quick question. This related to that emotional intelligence thing. So, for example, there are few emotional intelligence assessment tests, like the trait emotional intelligence and all. So, can we use that in holistic coaching while we are doing that
Yes. Yes, you can use any psychometric assessment or any kind of assessments if this will help you create, let's say, a benchmark or a starting point for your client. But personally, I'm always a bit, let's say, 50-50 skeptical, because pure assessment only does not mean that it gives me the clear picture. It gives me a probability, right? It gives me a probability. It gives me some kind of a starting point, but you have to be able to evaluate these through the coaching sessions with the client in order to really understand and realize that yes, what the result of a psychometric assessment or emotional intelligence assessment provides you, and then move forward. So evaluate them. You can use them, but evaluate them through your coaching with the client.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome. I think we can get one more question. What do you think?
Yes.
Or two maximum?
So this would be the last question. Dolvin, please go ahead.
Dolvin, maybe it's for you. Your turn, Miss Dolvin.
Dolvin,
Yeah,
you're
hello.
on mute.
Yes. I was just trying to figure out how to switch it on. Right. So maybe it is the last question. How would we respond to a question which says that how is holistic coaching different from the coaching that we've learned so far?
A very good question. Of course, I would reply that it depends on what you have learned so far, right? And
Yeah.
how deep you go to the balance aspect. Because holistic coaching, as we said, is about alignment and balance of the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. So if in your practice, either instinctively, intuitively, or by experience, you're using this model of approaching every challenge or every opportunity for the client through the lens of these four different levels, then you're in the right way, the right path. If you're not using it for some time because because you're focusing more on the physical aspect, or you're focusing more on the emotional aspect, or you're focusing more on the mental, or only the spiritual, then you're not aligning perfect there. You need to work on the four different levels in order to really support your client, your coachee.
May I just ask one more thing?
Please.
Related to this. So according to the ICF, when we've learned that let the coachee set the pace.
Mm-hmm.
Let the coachee decide
Correct.
what aspect she wants to work on.
Correct.
And what I'm understanding, though I'm all for holistic coaching,
mm-hmm.
So how does a coach balance that, allowing the coachee to set the pace and the area, and wanting to integrate the entire all the aspects of holistic coaching? How do we
Yes.
integrate these two?
Yes, so we are not
Ethically,
direct.
yes.
Yes, we are not directing. We're not guiding, right? We are coaching. So we are asking. But when we feel that there is an imbalance of the client between mental or emotional or physical, and we believe that this would support and to see something on a different angle, because maybe he's focusing on the angle of mental only, but we need to approach this from the emotional angle or from the physical angle to support him. Then with a clever questions, a smart question, without directing or guiding him, we can bring this angle also on the table during the discussion. And then we listen, and we wait to see, does it resonate with them or not? If it resonates, we continue. If it doesn't resonate, that's fine. We let them, continue with their path. And then maybe if we can share, that we can always ask, we can always take permission. So we take permission and we share. So then we see how he or she responds, how he or she resonates.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dolvin. Tassos, I'm very careful of time. And
yes, thank you
I'm
very
just
much.
going to quickly
Appreciate
thank you for this. Thank you so much. I think not just as a coach, I think all of us have realized as even human beings how much this is important. So thank you so much for the session today, and hope to collaborate with you more and see you more. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you all, and thank you for your interaction and your involvement and your contributions. Great insights, great questions. I appreciate. Thank you very much. See you soon. Why not? We can arrange a lot of things.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Take care.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much. Bye-bye.
Take care. All the best. Bye-bye.